This is for everyone who ever stood in the rain, waiting for a song to tell them they were not alone. This is for the ones who were judged before they spoke, the ones who gave everything and received nothing but doubt. Michael, the world took so much from you, but it could never take what you gave us. You'll always, always be the king of pop. Ontario, before the world knew his name, he already paid the price. A childhood soul for sequins, sacrifice for paradise. They put a crown upon a boy who never asked to reign, and called it fame and glory while he drowned in silent pain. His father's voice was thunder, cold and heavy like a chain. He learned to be a legend while he learned to hide his shame. Dressed in diamonds and in gold, a king who owned the kingdom, but his heart was never whole. And still he danced, Lord, how he danced, with every scar, with every wound, with every stolen chance. They took his face, they took his name, they dragged him through the fire, but they could never silence what his soul would not retire. Crown of thorns and glory, crown of pain and light, he carried all our sorrow through the darkest night. For every soul that's been misread, misjudged and left behind, the greatest king who ever lived was one of a kind. Oh, crown of thorns and glory, can you feel it now? The whole world stopped and wept the day we lost him somehow. Oh, kings don't die, they just ascend beyond our sight. He's still dancing in the thunder, still burning in the light. Hey. Yeah. They put him on the front stage with their lies and hungry eyes. They tore apart his spirit underneath the open skies. The man who healed the children once, the one they chose to break. They feasted on his sorrow just to satisfy their stake. He spoke of love in languages that crossed every wall. He filled 100 stadiums but felt nothing at all. When the lights went dark at midnight and the crowds had all gone home, the king of all the world sat in silence, all alone, and still he sang. God, how he sang, with the voice that lifted legions from the gutters where they hang. He could have turned his back on us, walked away from all the noise. Oh, but he chose to keep on giving. Yeah. Even silence of his voice. He wasn't just a singer, he was every broken dream. He wasn't just a dancer, he was louder than the stream of every soul that gave their all and still got nothing back. This dancing, still dancing. You're still dancing. Still dancing when the music never ends. Still dancing. 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 This is for everyone who ever stood in the rain, waiting for a song to tell them they were not alone. This is for the ones who were judged before they spoke, the ones who gave everything and received nothing but doubt. Michael. Yeah, there was a boy behind the crown, a boy the spotlights never found. He gave the world his everything, but no one gave him anything. Before the stages and the sequins, before the world knew his name, there was a child in a small room, learning how to hide his pain. His father's hands were instruments of pressure, not of grace. And every time he looked for love, he found an empty space. He practiced in the mirror till his feet began to bleed. A little boy performing for a word it never need. They told him he was special, told him he was born to shine, but nobody asked the question, boy, are you doing fine? And so he built his armor out of music and of dance. He gave the world a kingdom, never asked for a second chance. The boy behind the legend carried wounds we never knew. The deepest rivers never show you what they're going through. The boy they never saw was dancing in the rain. The boy they never saw was smiling through the pain. He gave you every heartbeat, every breath, every sound. The boy they never saw, he knew where he belonged. But did you ever see him? Did you ever really look beyond the sequin jacket and the legend and the hook? There was a human being made of sorrow, made of light. The boy they never saw is shining still tonight. They judged his face, they judged his skin, they judged his every move. They put him on the witness stand with something left to prove. The man who filled the stadiums was hunted through the press, a soul so full of innocence. They drowned in bitterness. He gave a word of wonder just to pay back what was stolen. A heart so full of children's laughter, fragile, soft and golden. They call it strange, they call him lost. They never understood that he was just a child reaching for what childhood stood. To every soul who's carried more than shoulders were designed, to every heart that kept on giving while falling behind. This song is yours, this pain is yours, this crown belongs to you. The ones who shine the brightest always hurt the most, it's true. The boy they never saw is finally free tonight. The boy they never saw that's traded sorrow for the light. He gave you every heartbeat, every prayer, every dream. The boy they never saw didn't build Neverland because he was strange. He built it because nobody ever let him be a child. He built a world of carousels and laughter in the hills, a place where broken children came to heal their deepest ills. They called it strange, they mocked the dream. They never stopped to ask why a man would build a childhood. What was hiding behind the mask? He was the child who never played, who never scraped his knee, who never had a summer just for being wild and free. So when he had the power and the money and the land, he built the wall he never had and opened up his hand. Neverland was real. It was the cry of a wounded soul. Neverland was real. It was a man trying to be whole. Don't you judge the dreamer for the dreams that kept him sane. Neverland was real, and it was built from all its pain. The world outside was hungry, and it wanted blood and lies. So it tore apart his sanctuary. Right before his eyes, they took away his kingdom, made of music and of grace, and left him with the echo of a cold and empty space. But in the hearts of billions, there's a Neverland that stays, a place where his music tastes forever through the days, where children laugh in meadows and the carousel still spins, where the boy who was never given childhood finally wins. If heaven has a landscape, let it look like what he built. Let there be no judgment there, no cruelty and no guilt. Let the boy ride every carousel, let him laugh until the dawn. Let the man finally rest in peace. In the Neverland he's gone. Neverland was real. It was the prayer of a broken king. Neverland was real. It was the hope of everything. And somewhere past the clouds tonight, the gates are open wide. Neverland is real, and he's finally inside. They put you on the front page with their cameras and their greed. They fed upon your suffering like a wound that had to bleed. They took the most devoted heart this world had ever known and crushed it in the headlines just to sell it on their own. You changed the face of music, you rewrote what art could be. You made a billion people feel that they were finally free. But freedom wasn't something that they ever gave to you. They hunted you for sport and called the cruelty something new. And you kept dancing, God, you kept dancing through the trials, through the fire, through the lies advancing. You could have walked away from all of it and disappeared. Oh, but you chose to keep creating. That took more than courage, dear. I know what they did to you. I saw the way you felt. But history remembers.
History remembers.
History always does.
History remembers.
The ones who tried to break you, forgotten as they was. And you're still the thunder rolling through the night. I know what they did to you. But look at you, still light. For every person watching who has felt the world's betrayal, who gave their best and found the world would rather see them fail, this song is your anthem. You and man's alone in this. The ones they try the hardest to destroy, they always miss. He told us to heal the world, but who was healing it? He sang about the children with a voice that broke the walls. He sang about the hungry in the forgotten halls. He gave away his millions to the ones who had the least, while the world that took his offerings kept feeding like a beast. He looked beyond the color of the skin upon your face. He dreamed of every nation finding dignity and grace. He wasn't just performing, every lyric was a prayer. A man who felt the suffering of people everywhere. Heal the world, we still need you to show us how. Heal the world, the broken ones are calling now. You left us with a blueprint, drawn in melody and light. Heal the world, your love is still our guiding light. The wars are still upon us, and the children still cry out. The rivers of injustice still keep flowing all throughout. The world you try to heal is still in desperate need of grace. And everywhere we turn, we see the hunger in the face. But every time we play your songs, the walls begin to crack. Every time your music plays, the light begins to come back. You gave us more than music, you gave us a way to live. You showed us that the greatest power we have is what we give. Oh, we still need healers. See, the world is broken and is cold. We still need voices brave enough to do what they were told by something greater than themselves. By love beyond all fear, you taught us how to be that wise. And we still hear you here. You taught us to heal the world, but who was healing him? He told us to heal the world, but who was healing him? If I could have one moment back before the the silence fell. One last night inside the music, one last story left to tell. I'd ask you how you really were behind those bedroom eyes. I'd ask you if the dancing ever covered all the cries. The stage went dark so suddenly, no warning and no goodbye. No chance to thank you for the light you cast across the sky. We thought that you'd deal with us like the seasons and the rain. We never thought the music could be taken by the pain. One last moonwalk across the floor, one last chance to give you what we never gave before. One last song to tell you that we finally understand. One last moonwalk, reach back and take our hand. For everyone who's lost someone before they said goodbye, for every word unspoken underneath the grieving sky, for every hand you didn't hold, for every call you missed, this song is the apology you kept inside your fist. It's not too late to say it. Love survives the grave. It's not too late to honor every sacrifice. Hey, yeah. One last moonwalk in the memory of all we had. One last moonwalk for the good times that we He stood before the mirror with the weight of all the earth and asked himself in silence, am I worthy of my worth? When the whole world called him broken, he was only being real. A man who dared to look inside and show us how to feel. He said the change begins inside you, not in politics or law. The revolution starts the moment that you face your deepest flaw. Not a perfect man, not an angel, not a saint, just a human being honest with his fears and his complaints. He never looked away from what was staring back at him. He never looked away when everything was looking grim. He changed the man inside before he changed the world outside. He never looked away, and that is why he never died. If you are ready to confront the places you have been, stand before the mirror like a king before his throne, and know the greatest change begins when you face it alone. Every great story has an ending, but the greatest ones never really end. They just become the music. They just become the light. Lay down the armor you have carried all these years. Lay down the sequins soaked in silence and in tears. The stage is dark now, but the music fills the air. The king has come back home, and love is everywhere. They try to write your ending with their cruelty and their doubt, but kings don't end in headlines. That is not what kings are about. You ended in the hearts of every soul you ever moved, in every child who danced alone, in every life improved. The king comes home. The king comes home. No more pain, no more silence, no more walking all alone. Every tear you ever cried was watering a seed. The king comes home, and love is all we need. The king comes home. Can you feel the ground? Every speaker in the world is carrying the sound of a life that was so much more than what the world could hold. The king comes home, and his story's never old. And if you've lost your person, if grief has found your goal, if someone that you love is not here with you anymore, then listen to this music like it was made for you alone. Because it was. Because it was. We are all connected by the ones we had to lose. We are all still dancing in the shadows of the blues, and somewhere past the evening where the stars begin to show, the king is still performing for the ones we had to let go. King forever, king forever. Some love never leaves, it just becomes a music. King forever, king forever. King forever.
Every great story